All right, let's talk about microservices. Specifically, what are the big foundational goals behind this whole architectural style? Let's get right into it.
If you're on a software team, you've definitely felt this. There's this constant push to go faster, right? Ship new features, beat the competition. But then there's the other side of the coin. Don't break things. Keep the system safe. Keep it reliable. And a lot of the time, speed and safety feel like they're pulling in completely opposite directions.
And that's exactly where the whole idea behind microservices comes in. It's not really about some magic tool or a specific piece of tech. It's more of a philosophy, a different way of thinking. You could call it the microservices way. And it's all about finding that sweet spot, that balance between moving fast and staying safe, especially when your system starts to get big and complicated. Okay, so how do we actually do that? It's not magic, right? It really comes down to focusing on a few really clear, really foundational goals. Yep, it all boils down to just four. Four key goals that should really guide pretty much every decision you make. And here they are. You've got reducing cost, increasing release speed, improving resilience, and enabling visibility. Think of them like four pillars. Each one is crucial for holding up that bigger idea of balancing speed and safety. So let's dig into each one. First up, reducing cost. Now, you might be thinking, isn't that just a business thing? But honestly, in the microservices world, this has a massive impact on how we actually build our software. So here's the big question, right? How on earth does cutting costs actually make a team more agile or more innovative? What's the connection? Well, it's actually pretty straightforward. Think about it. If it's cheap and easy to try something new, you're just going to do it more often. When the cost to spin up a new service is low, the risk of that idea failing is also low. If you can build a prototype in a week instead of 3 months, you're way more likely to take a chance on a cool new idea. The cost of being wrong is small, and that freedom is what fuels real innovation. Okay, next up is the one everyone talks about, speed. It's the headline feature of microservices, right? But moving faster can mean a lot of things, so let's get specific. I mean, increasing release speed isn't just about pushing code more often. It's really about shrinking the time it takes to get from a great idea to something a real user can actually click on. Why is that loop so powerful? It's all about the feedback loop. When you release faster, you get your ideas in front of users faster. That means you get feedback faster. You find out what works and what doesn't faster. You can fix your mistakes and try new designs way more often. And that's how you end up building something people actually love, not just what you thought they would. Okay, so we're cheap and we're fast. Awesome. But what about that other side of the coin? Safety. That brings us to our third goal, building more resilient systems. So what do we even mean by resilience? Look, it means building a system that doesn't just fall over when something unexpected happens. Because things will go wrong. That's a guarantee. A service will fail, a network will lag, stuff happens. The goal isn't to prevent every single failure, it's to design a system that can take a punch and keep on going. And this is where you see a huge difference in approach. In the old school monolithic world, it's kind of all or nothing. If one little piece breaks, the whole house of cards can come tumbling down. But with microservices, the idea is to isolate those failures. You can build bulkheads, basically. So if one service starts acting up, it doesn't sink the entire ship. The system can degrade gracefully instead of just crashing completely. All right, last but not least, our fourth goal. So now we've got all these small, independent services zipping around, talking to each other. This creates a whole new problem. How in the world do you know what's actually happening inside this thing? And this is absolutely critical. Without good visibility, you are flying completely blind. You have to be able to see what's going on under the hood in real time. When something breaks, you need to know where it broke. When things get slow, you need to know why. There's this great quote that just sums it all up. If it moves, graph it. If it matters, alert on it. It's a simple but powerful idea. Basically, monitor everything you possibly can, turn that data into graphs you can look at, and for the really important stuff, set up an alert so you know immediately when something's wrong. Visibility can't be an afterthought. It has to be built in from day one. So, when you put it all together, these four things, cost, speed, resilience, and visibility, they aren't just a to-do list you can check off. It's a constant balancing act. Sometimes, if you push really hard on speed, your resilience might take a hit for a little while. If you add a ton of visibility, your costs might go up. The real trick is finding the right balance for your team and what you're trying to build. And that's really the main takeaway for today. I want you to think about your own system, your own team. Which one of these four goals needs the most attention from you right now? Is it cost, speed, resilience, or visibility? Just asking that question is the first step to getting that balance right. And that's a wrap for this one. Hey, if you found this helpful, do me a favor and hit that like button, share it with someone who might need it, and of course, subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.